Throughout Europe, there are numerous museums that house a countless number of ancient Viking artifacts, some of which are more than 1,000 years old. Perhaps those fascinating objects left behind by the Vikings are their swords. These extraordinary blades are an iconic symbol of the Viking Age. And not only were they formidable in battle, but they also featured detailed and exquisite craftsmanship. The thing about the Viking swords in particular is, you'll see on a lot of these hilts of the Viking era repeating geometric symbols. Oftentimes these hilts were further decorated largely with silver, or perhaps copper or gold inlaid into the hilt. And some were incredibly advanced in their techniques, quite beautiful, and hard to produce even today in a modern shop. The sophistication of Viking swords shows how important these blades were to their warrior culture. The god Odin is the supreme being of the Norse system. He had an unusual spear, the Gungnir. Now this is an incredible spear. It can travel, is well balanced, so it can go far, with great accuracy. Anybody in Europe? Odin has this spear that almost seems to be laser guided. It finds its target, regardless how it's thrown. And then Thor, of course, as we all know, has his hammer, called Mjolnir. It creates thunder, but it also can create massive devastation. Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, is associated with the skill of the blacksmith. Blacksmiths were often considered, just by nature, somewhat mad, right? To be able to take this raw material and produce an incredible steel sword. While the sagas speak of magical armaments, in reality, 170 special Viking swords have been recovered, which are so unparalleled in strength and craftsmanship, that they are the real-life embodiment of mythical weapons celebrated in the sagas. To this day, no one knows how they were made, and curiously, many of them bear the mysterious inscription Ulfberht. The Ulfberht swords were made between about 800 and 1000 AD, so right solid in the high Viking period, when they were trading and raiding. Some Viking swords seemed to be much better than others. These were the so-called Ulfberht swords. It was assumed, without any evidence, that it was a swordsmith's name, but why the name Ulfberht was used is still a mystery. What does Ulfberht mean? It's probably not a person. It was probably a word of power. Imagine, typically, wolf means wolf, and Bert is an adjective meaning bright. So it might be bright wolf? Even more mysterious than their enigmatic inscription is the seemingly impossible strength of Ulfberht swords. I've analyzed 40 or 50 Ulfberht swords. It's certainly interesting to find that many of them still have a sharp edge, which is certainly unexpected. These swords were made of a very high carbon steel. The chemistry is completely different to any other weapons found in medieval Europe. It would be vastly superior to any other weapon in combat. To forge these extraordinary swords, the Vikings would have had to generate extreme temperatures exceeding 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. But incredibly, the technology to accomplish such a feat is not known to have existed until the Industrial Revolution, nearly 800 years after the end of the Viking Age.
Concrete fjord where the steel giants loom. Urban Norsemen breaking through the tomb. No long ships sail, just chrome wheels.